Welcome to Zoe Stories. My followers think I'm a girl, so do I. When the first message came in saying, "You're so beautiful, girl. I love your style," I laughed it off. I wasn't trying to fool anyone. At least, that's what I told myself. My name is Ryan, 24 years old, freelance graphic designer by day, anonymous fashion influencer by night. My double life wasn't born out of rebellion or even a deep desire to explore femininity. It started as a dare, a late-night experiment, a what-if, with no real consequences. Or so I thought. It began during a lockdown, when the days blurred into each other and social media became my only connection to the outside world. I had always admired fashion accounts, especially those featuring stunning girls with perfect eyeliner and legs that looked like they were sculpted in Photoshop. There was an artistry to it. And one night, just to challenge myself, I tried recreating one of their looks. I had some of my girlfriend and's old clothes lying around, stuff she never wore, stuff she said she'd donate but hadn't yet. A soft pink knit sweater, a pleated skirt, sheer tights. I slipped them on out of curiosity more than anything else. And it felt different. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. I saw someone else in the mirror. Not Ryan. Someone softer, gentler, prettier. I snapped a photo, added a blur filter, covered half my face with my phone, posted it on a new anonymous Instagram with the username @softgirldreams. And then I forgot about it, until the likes started pouring in. By day, my life looked perfectly ordinary. I worked from home in a quiet apartment just outside the city. I sent mock-ups and brand designs to clients who didn't care what I looked like or what I wore. I made my own hours, answered only to deadlines. No boss to worry about. No office politics. And my girlfriend of 3 years was the ambitious one. She worked as a junior editor at a fashion magazine and often stayed late, buried in deadlines and trend analysis. I loved her deeply. But sometimes it felt like we were running on parallel tracks, always moving but never quite side by side. Maybe that's why the thrill of my secret account pulled me in so fast. And had no idea. She would never guess. I wasn't the type of guy who wore makeup or posted selfies in skirts. I wasn't even sure if I believed I was that kind of guy. But every night, when she was away or fast asleep, I slipped into that other world. The messages kept coming. "Your makeup is flawless. How are your legs this perfect? Queen, you're giving me life." They thought I was a girl. And slowly, terrifyingly, I began to want them to. Our apartment was small but stylish, and's touch, mostly. Pale tones, woven textures, gold-framed mirrors, plants that she somehow managed to keep alive. My own space was minimal, a laptop, a drawing tablet, a desk by the window. My clothes shoved to one side of the closet. Hers overflowing. Sometimes I'd go through her drawers when she wasn't home. Just touching the satin of her blouses or the silky lining of her jackets gave me a strange comfort. It felt like accessing a part of her world I wasn't allowed to be in. Not as her boyfriend, but maybe as someone else. One night, while she was out with coworkers, I dressed up fully for the first time. Wig, lashes, lipstick. The works. I even practiced walking in her nude pumps, wobbling at first, then slowly finding my rhythm. I took dozens of selfies. I posted 3. The comments exploded. I couldn't stop. And was beautiful, smart, commanding. She wore fashion like armor and moved like she was always heading to something important. But when we first met, she liked my calm energy, my quietness. She once said I made her feel safe. Lately, though, I felt like I was hiding from her more than protecting her. I was scared of how she'd react if she ever found out. She joked about my soft features sometimes. "You'd be a cute girl," she said once while tracing my cheekbone. I laughed it off. But deep inside, I remembered that comment every time I put on blush. And didn't know about @softgirldreams. But the account was growing fast. Over 28,000 followers now. My DMs were flooded. People thought I was confident, bold, glamorous. I began to crave that version of myself. The girl with the perfect lighting and pouty lips. The one everyone loved. The one I was only allowed to be when no one else was around. The girl who wasn't real. Or was she? Every day, the line blurred just a little more. My real name started to feel fake. Ryan was who I had to be. But she, the online version of me, was who I wanted to be. And yet, the fear was always there. That, and might come home early one day. That she might find my wig. My stash of tights. My lipstick smudged on a teacup. My hidden phone album. Or worse, that she might find out from someone else. The message stayed in my inbox for 2 days before I dared to open it. I know who you really are, Ryan. Let's talk. No name. No profile picture. No followers. Just that one sentence. At first, I convinced myself it was a troll. Maybe a random guess. Maybe they sent it to dozens of accounts. Maybe it had nothing to do with me. But in my gut, I knew someone had figured it out. I stared at myself in the mirror that night, wearing an silky red robe, my wig framing my face perfectly, lips still fresh from the new cherry gloss stain I'd just bought. Was this who they knew? Or was it me? My wardrobe shifted subtly over the next few weeks. I bought androgynous pieces, leggings, soft blouses, fitted tees. Things I could hide beneath my usual hoodie, but still feel that femininity underneath. I told V it was for comfort. Sitting at the desk all day, I'd explain with a shrug. She didn't question it. My online account reached 50,000 followers. Brands started messaging me. One offered a free set of wigs. Another sent me 2 dresses, in exchange for a reel. The girl they saw wasn't just real. She was wanted. She had value. She was seen. Unlike Ryan. But the anonymous message lingered in the back of my mind. Every time my phone buzzed, my pulse spiked. Every time and picked it up, even just to check the time, I wanted to snatch it out of her hand. I deleted my browser history obsessively. Hid folders deep in file trees. Used private logins. Burners. Disposable emails. I was doing everything right, wasn't I? And started working from home more. Editorial meetings moved to Zoom. Suddenly, I wasn't alone in the apartment as often. That's when it became a game of timing. When she stepped out to get groceries, I transformed. When she took a bath, I transformed. When she slept, I transformed. Sometimes I'd forget to wipe off all the eyeliner. Once, she tilted her head and said, "Your lashes are really thick today," and I nearly choked on my coffee. I laughed it off, but later I panicked. I wiped everything down twice as hard. Scrubbed my skin raw. Hid everything under the floorboard in the closet. Still, the desire kept growing. One night, I wore everything. Wig. Heels. The lavender knit bodycon dress that hugged every curve I didn't have, but felt like I did when I looked in the mirror. And then, I went live. Just for a minute. I didn't show my face. Just the outfit. The walk. The voice. Soft. Pitched up. Practiced. The comments were euphoric. "Slay. You're such a goddess. I want to be you." For a second I did too. Another DM came in. "You're getting bolder. Maybe I should show and what you're hiding." I dropped the phone. This wasn't a game anymore. Whoever it was, they weren't bluffing. They knew. They really knew. I checked every room in the apartment. Nothing out of place. But what if they had a camera? What if it was someone I'd met? A client? A neighbor? Paranoia clawed at me. I changed all my passwords. Moved my stash from under the floorboard to a locked box in the storage unit downstairs. I nearly deleted the account. Nearly. But I couldn't. The idea of never dressing up again? Never being her? It felt like dying. Ryan became a shell. Quiet. Distant. Distracted. And noticed. "Are you okay?" she asked one morning, her eyes searching mine. "You've been acting different lately." I shook my head. Just work stress. But I couldn't look her in the eyes. I didn't deserve to. I wasn't her boyfriend anymore. I was the girl on the screen. The one people adored. The one I adored. One night, while Anne was asleep, I put on her new white lingerie set. She hadn't even worn it yet. It still had the tag. I looked at myself in the mirror. Lit a candle. Took a photo. I stared at it for a long time. Then I messaged the anonymous account. What do you want? They replied instantly. To help you become her completely. The anonymous account sent one final message. Friday, 3 p.m. Video call. Or I show her. No bluff this time. Attached was a photo of me in full makeup, holding Anne's purse, taken through our window. Someone had been watching me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I checked every window that day, closed the blinds, even blocked the peephole. Still, I felt exposed. Anne noticed everything. You're pale, she said. You look like you haven't slept in days. I'm just overwhelmed, I mumbled. Then she reached under the bed to pull out a blanket. My heart stopped. Had I left something down there? Is this yours? She asked, holding up a pink scrunchie. One of mine. I shook my head too fast. Probably from the laundromat. She looked at it for a long moment, then nodded, slowly. Weird. Looks new. Friday came. At exactly 3 p.m., I joined the video call. My hands were shaking. The camera turned on. The figure on the other end wore a mask, a cheap white masquerade mask, but their voice was calm. Too calm. Relax. I'm not here to ruin your life. I'm here to help you admit the truth. To who? I croaked. To yourself. They began listing all the things I'd done in secret. The accounts. The clothes. The photos. The brands. The nights I stayed up, dressed as her. You're not pretending anymore, Ryan. You're just afraid to say it out loud. And then they asked the question. Do you even remember the last time you felt like yourself when you weren't her? I couldn't answer. Because I didn't. That night, I stood in front of the mirror. No wig. No makeup. No dress. Just me, Ryan. And I didn't recognize him. He looked empty. Sad. Lost. I opened the drawer slowly. Slipped on the wig. Patted it down. Brushed it out. Put on the lipstick. The mascara. The necklace and gave me for our anniversary. Then I looked again. There I was. Not Ryan. Her. I smiled and I cried. Because I realized this wasn't a game. This wasn't pretending. This was who I was when no one was looking. The final twist came on a rainy Tuesday. I came home late from the storage unit, carrying a bag with a new dress. I thought Anne was still at her mom's. I was wrong. She stood in the doorway of our bedroom, and I froze. The bag slipped from my hands. The dress spilled out. She stared at it, then at me, then slowly walked over, picked it up, and whispered, "This is yours." I couldn't lie anymore. I nodded. She didn't say anything, just walked out. The silence she left behind was worse than screaming. She didn't come home that night. I didn't know if she was angry or disgusted or scared. I only knew she knew. I checked my messages. The anonymous account had vanished. Deleted. No trace. Had they done this on purpose? To push me over the edge? Or to set me free? I stared at the makeup on the counter. The wig stand. The phone showing 70,000 followers who still thought I was her. And for the first time, I whispered to my reflection. I think I am her, too. But was it too late? Would Anne come back? Did I want to go back? It had been 3 days. No texts. No calls. No Anne. I sat in her apartment, still in full makeup, wearing the soft pink dress I'd always admired on her, but never thought I'd be brave enough to wear in front of her. Now it was too late. I had nothing left to hide. Every tick of the clock echoed. My phone buzzed. And I'm coming over. I panicked, ran to the mirror, wiped the mascara, peeled off the lashes, pulled the wig off, then stopped, and stared. Why did taking her off feel more like losing myself? I hesitated, then put the wig back on. The key turned in the lock. My heart thundered. Anne stepped in. She looked around, then at me. I stood there, silent, fragile, barely breathing. She looked at my face, the dress, the wig, the pink nails. Then she closed the door behind her and walked toward me. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just said, "Is this who you are?" I couldn't speak. She stepped closer. I deserve the truth. Not just for me, but for you. Because I don't think you've been honest with yourself either. I tried to smile, but my lips trembled. I don't know who I am anymore, I admitted. But I know that when I'm like this, I feel real. And blinked. Then she reached forward, lifted my chin, and whispered, "So tell me, do you still love me as you?" I swallowed hard. Yes. She stared at me, eyes shining. And then she said, "Then show me." Ryan reaches for her hand, takes a breath, and kisses her, softly, as himself, but in a dress, in makeup, in the persona he used to hide from her. And doesn't pull away. But she doesn't smile either. And then the screen cuts to black. What do you think Anne will do next? Will she accept Ryan's new identity? Or will this love story fall apart? Drop your predictions in the comments, backhand index pointing down. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want part 2. This story was "My followers think I'm a girl, so do I." Let's see how far the truth can go.